Just because my body was developed for a purpose other than fucking millionaires doesn't mean it's masculine.
Since entering the mainstream in 2007, women's MMA has transformed from a novelty into one of the pillars of the sport. And 10 years after its debut, it's time to look back at some of the best the division has given us. These are some of the best women's matches held by mainstream promotions based on fight quality, entertainment value, and historic importance to the sport. Welcome to INC, and these are 10 of the greatest matches in women's MMA. Number 10, Gina Carano vs Julie Kedzie. On February 10, 2007, Elite XC made history when Gina Carano took on Julie Kedzie in the first women's MMA fight on American television. Despite the historic title, both ladies had been veterans for years before, with Carano holding a 12-1 amateur record and Kedzie claiming impressive wins over Jan Finney and Shayna Baszler. In a fight of the night performance, both ladies wowed fans with a frantic encounter, with Carano controlling the fight in the stand-up and coming close to finishing with a flurry of punches at the end of the first. Although Kedzie caused problems on the ground, Carano's Muay Thai proved to be too much to overcome, winning a unanimous decision and providing a watershed moment for women's MMA in America.
As both fighters receive a great round of applause, they embrace each other. Tremendous moment, a tremendous fight for mixed martial arts, and they're receiving a standing ovation from the huge crowd in attendance at the DeSoto Civic Center. What a moment!
Number 9, Kat Zingano vs Amanda Nunes. Kat Zingano is one of women's MMA's overlooked pioneers, and for many her greatest triumph was her win over Amanda Nunes at UFC 178. Promised a title shot prior to the fight, Zingano's hopes were almost ended immediately, as Nunes rained down heavy punches that nearly forced the fight to be stopped in the first. Zingano, however, has always been trademarked by her resilience, and after stuffing an early takedown, took control in the second, landing heavy punches and elbows on the increasingly tired Brazilian. From then on, the result was a foregone conclusion, as Zingano dominated proceedings to wrap up an impressive win late in the third. The fight was Nunes' first loss in her MMA career, and earned Zingano her shot with Rousey 18 months after injuries threatened to end her career. Number 8, Tecia Torres vs Rose Namajunas. In Invicta's first pay-per-view match, Tecia Torres took on Rose Namajunas in a battle of two of the sport's biggest prospects. With unbeaten records each, Torres and Namajunas wasted no time setting the pace, going non-stop for the first 5 minutes, with Namajunas closest to finishing with a flying armbar. The pace continued in the second, with Torres maintaining the pressure with headshots and a series of kicks that sapped the energy of the Lithuanian. Although Namajunas controlled the third on the ground, Torres' strong kickboxing game saw her claim the decision, and granting the tiny Tornado the biggest win of her career so far. Number 7, Ronda Rousey vs Liz Carmouche. When women's MMA entered the UFC, a high-profile match was required to justify its place in the promotion, one that duly delivered when Ronda Rousey and Liz Carmouche squared off at UFC 157. Rousey entered the promotion with much fanfare, winning her first 6 fights by first-round submission, and a match against ex-Marine Carmouche wasn't expected to be any different. Rousey started the fight in gung-ho fashion, scoring a takedown in the first 30 seconds before a failed armbar attempt gave Carmouche the chance to shock the world.
Ronda's face is getting twisted. Carmouche trying to shock the world. Carmouche has got a good shot here, Mike.
Rousey, however, was able to fight out, and from then on the Californian never looked back, showcasing her top-level ground game before extending her unbeaten record with her trademark armbar.
She's running for it. She got it. And it's all over. Once again, first round armbar finish for the champion, Ronda Rousey.
The fight gave Rousey the biggest test of her career so far and helped prove doubters wrong over female presence at the sports. Number 4, Joanna Jędrzejczyk vs Claudia Gadelha 2. Few rivalries in MMA have been more competitive than Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Claudia Gadelha, so when the two squared off at the Ultimate Fighter finale, the stage was set for an epic encounter. Joanna was victorious when the two first met in 2014, but with 2 years and a strawweight title on the line, Gadelha was more motivated than ever to claim revenge on the champion. Claudia started the fight strongly, dropping Joanna with a left hook before controlling with strikes and takedowns throughout the first 2 rounds. Joanna was able to survive the onslaught, and as her Brazilian opponent looked tired, took control with strikes and elbows while avoiding several takedown attempts. Joanna's resilience eventually paid off, winning a unanimous decision and helping cement her place as the face of the 115 division. Number 3, Kat Zingano vs Miesha Tate. In the Battle of Sporting Matriarchs, Kat Zingano took on Miesha Tate in the Ultimate Fighter finale in 2013. With the winner earning a shot at Ronda Rousey, Tate started the fight strongly, scoring a takedown almost immediately and troubling her pressured opponent with elbows and punches on the top. Tate's high-level grappling gave her the edge in the second, until a failed knee bar attempt allowed her opponent to take control at the end of 10 minutes. From then on, the Alpha never looked back, bloodying Tate's nose with strikes before finishing her veteran opponent in the middle of the third round.
And how much more can Miesha Tate take? An elbow, and that'll do it! Kat Zingano is your #1 contender!
Although Zingano would lose her shot due to injury, her performance showed her resilience against the odds, and further underlined women's MMA place at the top of the sport. Number 2, Angela Lee vs Mei Yamaguchi. In one of the best fights of 2016, Angela Lee took on Mei Yamaguchi for the One Championship Atomweight title. The fight had been billed as a generational battle, with Lee boasting an elite ground game well beyond her years, and Yamaguchi a 9-year veteran who never been finished in her career. Lee started the fight strongly, scoring takedowns in a frantic 2 rounds and using every chance possible to finish her Japanese opponent. Yamaguchi, however, was able to keep Lee honest on the ground and showcased her superior striking as the third round got underway.
Oh, what a big punch! Angela Lee in huge trouble from that overhand right.
Lee was able to recover, catching Yamaguchi in a slew of submissions as the 33-year-old faded, giving Lee a unanimous decision and making her the sport's youngest champion at 19 years old. And number 1, Ronda Rousey vs Miesha Tate. When Ronda Rousey took on Miesha Tate at Strikeforce 2012, few could have foreseen the impact it made on the face of MMA. The fight marked the second time a women's fight headlined a televised event, and came after months of trash talk, which raised the sport's profile to unparalleled heights.
Everything about her is better on paper. Her fights look better on paper. Photos look better on paper than she does in person. Her trash talking looks much better on paper than it actually is if you listen to her talk.
No talking happens in the cage. Time to shut up and throw fists and see who really has the heart and the will. You know, you can talk all you want, but actions speak louder than words.
Rousey started on the front foot, scoring an early takedown and attempting to lock her trademark armbar before Tate responded with heavy strikes on her grounded opponent. A series of top-level scrambles would follow, with Rousey fighting off a rear naked chokehold before using her high-level judo to slam Tate to the ground. From then on, the Olympian was in her element, softening Tate with ground strikes before ending the fight in brutal fashion late in the first round.
Ronda Rousey extending the arm!
She's got to squeeze her knees a little bit.
Tate hanging on, desperately trying to survive!
Oh, she's going to break it.
It's over! Rousey has done it!
UFC President Dana White has cited the fight as the reason women are part of the UFC, and added with the quality of the match itself earns our place as the greatest fight in women's MMA. Well, that's our opinion, but what about yourself? What do you consider the greatest fight in women's MMA? Be sure to post your comments, like this video, and stay tuned to this channel. This is the INC, and thank you for watching.